So, welcome, Devesh and Munindra. Formal welcome to the call. And before we proceed, big thanks to both of you for giving time for this because I know this is the only chill time you are getting with your family and friends and all. Because I mean, no matter what you faced at ISP in terms of hectic days and rigor and everything, things are only going to get worse. Okay.
No, no, our pleasure.
Especially with consulting, not cannot paint any rosy. I mean, I have not experienced it firsthand. I have never been into consulting, but my close friends are across all big consulting firms and they all lament. But of course, they also talk about everything that this industry and this field has given them so far. So again, thanks a lot for giving your time. And why don't we start with, before we proceed, few things to people here. Guys, you can ask all your questions in the chat while these two are speaking. And then once we completely open it to the for the question and answer, you can unmute and ask questions directly to save time. Meanwhile, if you have any particular questions to us, you can put it in the chat. So Devesh, why don't you just introduce yourself talking about your interesting work experience. And also one thing I want you to tell everyone that why MBA after such an illustrious career. You were a veteran at Maruti Suzuki. You were working across, I mean, different countries. You were working here in Japan, and you were having great responsibilities at job also. I mean, you were actually doing a lot of things which people dream of doing after MBA. And so you were already pretty established. Still, after so many years, why did you do it? And financially also you were doing well. I
Yes.
want to add that. Still after all that, because people say that am I too old to do an MBA or do I even need an MBA? So what was the answer? What were the answers for these two questions while you were introspecting about the need of an MBA? So you'd want you
Sure,
to
sure,
focus on
sure.
that as well.
Okay, okay. So, hello guys. I'm Devesh Bajpayee, as already Anshul introduced me. So, I was working in Maruti Suzuki prior to ISB, and I was working in new product development there for new product development as well as performance improvement in Maruti Suzuki R&D. And as he told you that yes, the career that I had in Maruti was actually really good, and I enjoyed there working a lot. However, I felt that even if it's the best company of the world, I should, at least look around and stop for a while and see, am I going in the right direction? And I realized that yeah, everything is going great, but still once you are there in a company for a while, you stop learning because you kind of find your way around people. You know whom to talk, how to manage people around. So I felt that managing was my job, even though I was working in R&D. You kind of feel that you'll hold on to the technical side of it, but you kind of lose the grasp because you have to start managing teams. I had to manage teams not only in India but internationally also, matlab, in Japan. So I felt that it's important for me to get a formal education, stop and see where am I going. And I also realized that even for my organization, it's very important for me to get a formal education like an MBA for me to grow better. I could have taken, say, internal job posting within my own company,
Yeah.
but it would have taken a lot of time. And I realized that there is no other option for me to grow with the pace that I desired other than an MBA. And once I was convinced, even after having a decent job, I thought that it has to be the way. But you can never know all the things in life while you are making decisions. There is always some gap in information. You'll have to take some leap of faith. And then I realized that no, okay, it seems like the right direction. I have to trust in myself. This is now how I have been in the past. I couldn't have reached where I am if I had not taken some risks in life. So I realized that okay, let's leave this job. Indeed, pressing the button of resignation after 10 years was very hard decision for me, but I finally took it. Uh, Everyone guided me well, including Anshul, and I realized after a year, uh, I can safely say that it was one of the best decisions that I took in my life because it's not just about job and placement. At least as far as ISB is concerned, it's also about how much wit you gain in life. And it's in your career, you might be working in one particular domain and you will get more and more depth. But after a while, whenever you want to grow and progress, you need more wit. And you need to have, say, the very common term is bird's eye view of the business that you are involved in. So once you know the width, then only you'll have the mindset to grow and know how to grow. And there is a very common term that I heard professors saying in the age of AI in ISB. It's called meta knowledge, and it's the basic meaning is that it's not about what all you know. It's also about what all you don't know. So meta knowledge is what you know and what you don't know. So I realized after 1 year in ISB that there's so much about the width of business and other things that I don't know. And even after working 10 years, I thought that probably some part of the MBA I would have known before business and other things. Mostly 99% of the things were new to me. And I was surprised to know that it's not theoretical at all. I thought I had this presumption of MBA being a very theoretical kind of endeavor, but it turned out to be very technical. Good for me because I really like technical things. I thought it's mathematical, statistics, everything is so engraved upon every subject. And I really loved my journey of actually learning new things apart from forget and market conditions, forget getting a good placement. I'm sure Munindra will agree that we really enjoyed learning with our peers, even after having a lot of experience. And when I joined ISB a year ago from now, I actually had this fear in my mind that being of higher years of experience and actually of maybe 7, 8 years older than most of the cohort, I thought, will I be able to gel up and will I be able to mingle enough with everyone to learn and find my way out in this 1 year MBA? And it couldn't have been more correct and more better for journey because didn't make any it wasn't even a hurdle at all. Everyone cares for their own career progression. Everyone is there for them for there to learn, and it was an amazing experience. I have found friends for life. I have found connections for life. I found people whom I can be in touch with whenever I have any problems in career and in personally, career wise, everything I can ask him. So it couldn't have been much better. It was just an icing on the cake that I got a desirable job also. But I think it was a very I don't have words of how good a decision this was to go to ISP and do this MBA after 10 years.
So just a weird coincidence. A few around just a week before you finished your MBA, we were having the same session with Poojan, and of
Hmm.
course, he didn't know that you also worked with me. You didn't know that he also worked with
Hmm.
me.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And then again, we were discussing about life at ISP, and he said that he had a close friend, and when he explained operations, his mind opened, and because he had worked in automobile R&D, so he explained it explained it to me in such a way that I completely understood it, and I just mentioned that from automobile R&D, the only bell that strikes my head is Devesh. And he was like, "How do you know Devesh?" Like Devesh was also with me. He's like, "Yeah, he's my very close friend, and he really helped me a lot in understanding operations and manufacturing and all that." And I just realized that it's such a small world. And he also mentioned what exactly you just said, that you guys had a great time there. Just
Hmm.
just getting involved in the learning was itself a great
Yeah.
experience throughout. Placements and all became a byproduct. And
Yes. Yes. And on the top of that, I was also part of the Career Advancement Council this
yes, I
time.
saw that.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
you also had good grades. I saw your LinkedIn.
okay.
So please mention that also.
Okay.
Okay, Devesh. Thanks a lot for a great introduction. And I mean, you said what I always say about life at ISP. It's really a year of transformation. But also, I want to add, it depends on you how much you want to transform yourself. You can actually spend the entire year without actually getting transferred and just transformed and just graduate with a job and nothing else. But
True.
it completely depends on you how you use it. Okay, so Munindra, you had a bit difficult journey because there was a reapplication for you. This was a reapplication. So while you introduce yourself, I mean, after you introduce yourself, I want you to tell everyone what was the difference between your first application and second application, and how exactly you prepare differently, because this is very important for reapplicants. And guys, please, whatever questions you need to ask, please start putting in the chat so that it is easier for me to ask. Yeah, Munindra.
Hello, folks. My name is Munindra. I was working with Innova Corporation for 7.5 years before I joined ISB. I applied twice. First time I got rejected because of so many different reasons. First, there was fault with my application. I left the non-essay part wholly empty. Secondly, the reason was I was not able to communicate well during interviews. I was not clear about my goals and ambitions, why I wanted to do my MBA from ISB, and what are the skills that I can use during my MBA that can be helpful to get a job or get a very decent uh, output from ISB. So I talked with so many alums. My brother was also a consultant. I talked with Anshul. I talked with Tanmay, and worked on all the problems that I had with my applications. First, I focus on my essays. Secondly, I focus on my communications. I had a lot of coaching from Tanmay, and at the same time, I had almost 7 to 8 mock interviews.
8.
Yeah, 8.
I have
Uh,
written it in the Excel sheet.
yeah.
You took 8 and Devesh took 6.
Yeah, so a lot of mock interviews. So understanding where your weaknesses are and working towards that is one of the most important things that I learned during this, and I believe that is also going to help you a lot of folks who will be applying for the first time or maybe the second time for ISB or anywhere else. As long as my ISB journey is concerned, I believe
You
this
also had a POR, big POR.
Yes, I had a POR,
Yeah.
VP of Operations Club. Yeah.
Yes.
So I stood for that role, got elected for the VP, and did a little bit of work in that domain also. Not a lot of work, but still, it was very joyful for me that I was elected, and I was able to meet a lot of people, network with them, and one of the best years of my life. Yeah, truly, ISB. And the one thing that I learned from ISB was the skill to learn different things whenever you're working on thing or a project. There will be times that you will be doubtful that will I be able to do that, but here at ISB you will get an opportunity to work on those different aspects that you never knew you would be able to do. But after ISB you will have the confidence that yes, I can do this, I can do that. So that is what I learned the most. And there are a lot of domains that you won't get the opportunity to learn if you are not doing an MBA. For example, if you want to learn about microeconomics or accounts or so many different subjects, basic understanding is important. And yeah, MBA will help you a lot. And building on that, you will be able to understand the whole world better and do well in your career.
That was entire. That is what you just said, Munindra. It was
Yeah.
discussed in our last info session also with Vishwas, that uh, it teaches you so much that you are ready to do anything later in life. I mean, nothing
Yeah.
in your corporate life will actually disturb you. I mean, this I
Yeah.
said because none of you had post MBA experience yet, but I mentioned as an alum that no matter what difficulty is thrown at you at work, and of course that now the difficulties will increase. You
Yeah.
guys are recruited at a very high pay package, so you guys will be expected to solve very difficult problems, but those problems will not mentally disturb you at all. It
Yeah.
might be very difficult. The problem might be something very unheard and unprecedented for you, but you will be calm, like, huh, I can do it because you have
Yeah.
done much worse things at ISB, much
Yeah.
difficult things at ISB. So that is the biggest takeaway for me, after like it's been 7 years since I graduated, so nothing really kind of upsets me at work. Like, कि अच्छा,
Yes.
okay, हाँ, I don't know, but I know how to figure things out.
Yes.
So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, great. Okay, now the questions have started coming, and as expected, these are very amazing questions. This question is for Devesh. Does it matter if someone has around 8 to 9 years of experience as a design engineer? Devesh, your role was kind of similar in automotive space, but no managerial experience or experience in leading teams. Will it hinder during placement? I know the answer, but I want you to answer this.
So the sentence is that it's all about how you sell yourself.
Yeah,
It's like selling a product or commodity. So if you're worried about you're not having done any managerial experience, then you can do something in ISB to fill that gap. So take
correct.
a POR, do something well, show at the top of your resume that you have managed teams in ISB, and then you can do that. But in the end, you should be aware of the fact that it's no no one single point is that important that it will hinder your career.
Yes,
So you should not be overly fixated about any one setback. You if you think a setback is there in your life, it's how you make up and explain your whatever you think it's gap, lacking or gap, and then you can fill it up. In ASB, you have ample opportunities to lead teams. Do something like I led teams. I was handling a lot of CAG buddies. You'll be CAG buddies are people who manage a lot of students. So I was managing them. So I was managing 14 CAG buddies who themselves manage 70 people each. So you can do things like that, and you can write that in your resume and see and explain. So that is not at all an issue. It's other than that, whatever 7 8 years of experience you have, you should focus on explaining that well
yeah,
and how you can explain it in terms of what all you have done.
Yeah, I want to add one thing over here.
yes,
Having a well-defined story is very important. Interviews is all about stories. If you have worked 8 to 9 years, then of course you will be working on so many different projects that you must be having at least 8 to 9 stories ready on the go. Uh, Whatever questions they throw at you, you must be having at least 2 or 3 stories on that, and building on those stories and relating to that question is very important. So having those narrative ready is very important if you have 8 to 9 years of experience. And design engineer, you mentioned that I believe there would be a different works that you must have worked on. So those stories building is very important, and narration of those stories is what I believe is going to make a difference in your profile.
it is also important during your ISP interview
Yeah,
because you would be expected to talk a lot about your work
yeah,
because you have worked for so many years. That will be natural expectations from the interviewers that you really are very clear about what you have done and how you have added value to your employer. What marginal value you have added. Of course, whatever you worked in team and everything you'll say, but what did you do which couldn't have been done in your absence? That you need to highlight very clearly in the interview. Okay. Sinjni has asked this question. No, not Sinjni. Next is Anjali. Anjali has asked a question for, I think, all of us here. For someone with 7 to 10 years of experience, how did placement turn out? Yeah, the biggest topic of this call today. Did the kind of roles expectation differ compared to those with 3 5 years of experience? हाँ एक एक करके
Okay, I'll
आंसर
go
करते हैं
first.
पहले.
So,
Yeah,
so see, placements are always a tricky thing because they are dependent on market conditions and all. And on them is like focusing on very short return of investment. So having said that, it was definitely a little bit difficult for people with higher years of experience in comparison to lower years of experience. Everyone knows that, and definitely the opportunities. If for example there are 5 companies coming for lesser years of experience, then you'll have maybe 2 companies coming for lower years of experience. So that is true. So you'll have to make the most of it in those 2 companies. You'll have to give your best shot, and then if you belong to a core company like me, then definitely, core companies have different mindset, and that is why their role and other things might not be exactly suitable for you. So you should be very clear while you are going to ISB about these kind of realizations. ISB is not a tool for you to get the exact shot at bullseye. It's
Exact shot at immediately after MBA. That
exactly,
exact shot might come after 1 year.
exactly. So you don't have to. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you don't have to think that you hit the bullseye exactly after ISB. You have to think that you will hit you'll have a proper gun to hit a bullseye after ISB. It will give you a very good platform and a network so that once you jump from that platform initially, then you can eventually lead. Maybe if you are lucky enough, first shot में मिल जाएगा, maybe second में, नहीं तो third में, you will reach there. So you'll get a good enough opportunity to go wherever you want to go. That is what you should be focusing on while going to ISB. लेकिन you should be aware of the fact that it's not always and not 100% all rosy for everyone. There are all support channels. People are there to support you. The CAC, the student body is there to support you. The placement body, the CAS team is there to support you. You can go ahead and even talk to the dean if you want. Everyone is open for discussions and there to support you and help you in whatever way you want. But in the end, it's your life story. You probably want something very special in a particular direction, in a particular place, in a particular role. But will that 1 year on FEA will give you exactly what you want? That's a game of, that's actually a story of a different year. So you should be aware of all the risks while you are entering ISB, but you should be hopeful and you should know actually, it's not just hopeful, you should know that from your alums that people who have wanted what they, when they were entering ISB have finally gotten what they want maybe 1 year बाद 2 साल बाद 3 साल बाद लेकिन they have got. So you should realize that you will become more connected and powerful once you are there in ISB. But एकदम से सब कुछ मिल जाएगा वाली mentality से if you are going to ISB, please don't go.
नहीं, प्लेटर पे तो कुछ भी नहीं मिलता.
हाँ वही पे.
And it's not related to the job market at this stage. This was exactly the same case during my time as well. And right, it's been 7 years since I graduated. I am talking even within 3 to 4 years, even the fraction of people who were not happy with what they got, within 3 years, everyone got what they deserved. And when I say everyone, I meant everyone. From my batch, I can only talk about my batch. I am not really tracking people from my senior or junior batch, but everyone reached where they actually belong. There was this one guy with a 780 in GMAT and 3.9 GPA, did not get any consulting shortlist.
Okay.
He got Paytm from the campus. He said, I will not take Paytm. Joined a tier 3 consulting firm called Actus Consulting off campus. And within 1 year, he was at Bain. Today, he has become engagement manager already. Just giving one example of people not finding what they deserve from the campus. Took him 1 year to just reach where he belonged. So, yeah, Munindra, you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I think flexibility is very important. You can't be focused on a single role that if that role comes, then only I will apply to that company and I will only accept that job. Having flexibility in your roles, at least for the campus placement, is important. If you're not flexible, then there is a very good chance that you might not be placed even in a very good year. So having that flexibility is important. Of course, 2 3 years down the line, you will be getting into a role that you want because after getting out of after ISB, you will be on a very high pedestal as compared to others. You
Yes.
will be on a you will be a cream. So everybody wants that cream. So you will be getting exactly what you want after 2 3 years, not exactly after ISB, but of course 2 3 years, maybe 4 years, 5 years, but you will get exactly what you want. But if you are fixated on a single role or a company, then it would be very difficult for you.
I would just want to add it's okay to be fixated on a single role in company, but not fixated for your campus job.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example because now we are talking just I am getting reminded of people. I don't remember the name of that girl. She was my batchmate. Again, 6+ years of work experience. I remember her face. It's weird. I don't remember her name. She was from B Pharma. She was a B Pharma graduate, and that's why we were in touch because I had a POR in healthcare club, so she was also a part of healthcare club, and she was not getting a role from the campus because of her unique background.
Yeah.
And she eventually joined some small company. I forgot the name, started with, I forgot. With that company, Microsoft was the client of that company. And so she was dealing constantly with Microsoft people. And she joined it at the end, just before the convocation, she got the job. And within 1 year, she got a full-time role in Microsoft. She's still at Microsoft.
Yeah.
1 year took her 1 year to just get what she actually wanted or deserved. I remember she kept saying, I want to get out of this healthcare initial. I don't like healthcare. I don't know why you are still, why do you still want to go into healthcare even after MBA? I want to get out of this field. She was very sure. She was fixated. And it happened within a year. And she's in a very high post today. She started with institutional sales at Microsoft. And she is right now doing on enterprise sales or something like that. So yeah, and now guys, I would request you to unmute and start ask directly rather than you writing, then me narrating. It's just wasting time. So Rachit, you can ask your question, and then Aniket can ask. Though, yeah, then Krisha can ask as well. Rachit, if you are there, please unmute and you can ask directly whatever you want to.
I am audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, hello all. Yeah, I was so right now I'll give an introduction about myself. So I have a total of 6+ years of experience. I am a software engineer. So all 6 years I have spent within the same organization, that is Accenture. Okay, so in Accenture I handle the SAP. I'm the SAP functional. So so apart from the SAP skill set which I have been nominated from Accenture, like towards various programs. It could be the Executive General Management program. I was nominated by Accenture for that. That was a program held by IIM Calcutta. It was a 1 year program, and it had all the modules, finance, marketing, everything. So that certification obtained, and other such certification. Okay. So my question here is that. Is being a part of Accenture for the 6 years, and in software industry, it's quite common that people keep on switching the companies and all. So
No,
is
it's
this a
not quite
point of
common.
concern?
It's not true at all. People do both the things. People stay for years and years in the same company in software also. And I read your question, Rachit. These two are the best examples uh, to
Okay.
answer your question. That they only worked in the same company for all these while. It doesn't matter. Please understand what you have worked, what you have done in that company. This is what ISB is
Mm-hmm.
looking at.
Okay.
Sometimes a lot of jumps might make the interview more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you, you are recently you joined the group, right? We did a
Right.
same session with Hiral Sharma, who is currently at ISP, current batch, class of 2026. She had multiple jumps. So her interview started with, okay, we have seen your resume. Now,
Mm-hmm.
tell me why for everything. Why did you do this course? After this, why did you do an master's in economics? If you had to do, if you had to do a master's in economics, why are you doing an MBA? Then why you did this VC role? Why did you do internship instead of full-time job? Why did you jump from VC to social impact consulting? Why from social impact consulting you are doing some business development? Tell me the why for each academic and professional jump that you have taken. Of course, she was very well prepared to answer that. But imagine someone
Uh-huh.
else can have एक दो जगह तुम फंबल करोगे उसके बाद फिर गया इंटरव्यू, right? So there is no
Okay.
right or wrong thing to do, Rachit. So please, I don't
Okay.
know who told you that
So
switching is a good thing. It is not about
no,
bad thing,
no.
but a good thing.
Right. So yeah, the general perception is that switching leads to
No,
growth
that's
in the
your
company.
mental block. There is no general perception. No one thinks like that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay. And these two are
Yeah.
the best examples, as you can see. 7+ and 10+ years in the same company.
So basically, like, so if I'm working at Accenture, they would expect me to know the ins and outs of what I have been doing there, and why I didn't switch. This could be a question, right?
No.
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 Why will they ask something you have not done? They have so many things to ask about things that you have done. Who is
Right.
giving you this random knowledge, switching and all?
I'm
But
just
Accenture is
considering.
a very good company, so why would you switch? So don't think there should be any type kind of question is that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
People who have, please listen for the other people who are attending, people who have switched a lot, they can be asked, why have you switched? Who have not switched, they will not ask why you haven't switched. Switching is not mandatory. It's not even considered good by many people. Well, frequent switching, frequent hopping here and there. Yeah, Aniket, uh, you can ask. Then Krisha, then you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hello Anshul, hello Devesh, and hello Munindra.
Hello. Hi.
So actually, I'm kind of in the similar situation as you guys were 2 or 3 years back, couple of years back. So I have around 8 years of work experience in oil and gas and energy sector. So our company basically does projects for clients like IOCL, ExxonMobil on lump sum turnkey basis. And so there's a field I'm passionate about. I want to grow in the energy sector. Like that is what really drives me. But I want to get into more. So right now, our what our company does is we do projects for the clients, but I want to enter into actually strategizing for clients. Let's say Reliance or Exxon, that how you shape their energy transition pathway. And these projects are extremely capital intensive, so there is, apart from the technical part, there is lot of commercial or financial acumen you need to have to really have that this that market is going that way, so this is the kind of project or this is the type of technology you need to invest in. So this was my kind of my reason to do, and still is one of the reasons I want to do an MBA. So last year I had applied, and my interview was I made it to the interview went fairly well at the initial stages, but and I also, after the interview, I felt it was more or less decent. But at the end, the why MBA part, what they told me was that, okay, you have around, like, I am right of shy of 8 years of WorkEx right now. So you have all this WorkEx. So the things you want to does it really require an MBA? These things are some of these things you can learn it via some courses or something like that. So I tried justifying it to the best of my knowledge. I told that, okay, doing courses and all is one thing, but importance of formal education, having exposure to people who have diverse points of view, who are from different industry, that adds to your overall development when you're doing an MBA. So, but I don't know, I couldn't make it past the interview. So I just want to, have thought from you guys that being a high WorkEx candidate, being a reapplicant, how can you really, fine tune this why MBA part? Any advice from you guys would be really helpful.
I think Munindra, you can go ahead, and similar background, you can answer better.
Yeah. So you can always say that you were in this particular domain for this many years because you wanted to get a very decent knowledge and you wanted to have a very huge experience in this particular area because you are interested in this. And at the same time, you want to get into consulting because, or consulting, or you want to do an MBA because there are certain skill set that you lack. For example, you must be lacking about how businesses work, really work, what exactly is finance, what exactly is marketing, what exactly is uh, so many different things. Plus at the same time you will be getting an opportunity to have the exposure to a cohort which is very diverse. You will be getting into a program where people would be from uh, healthcare or army background or uh, defense background. So having that discussion during your classroom is very vital for you to get a different perspective on different problems. So these many different things that you will be getting from an MBA. So these kind of points that you can add to your why do you want to do an MBA at this moment of time. I think of course the lack of skills that you need for getting into a consulting role or or a particular role that you want to get after an MBA. That is what exactly you will be getting from an MBA. So that is how you should narrate your answer to why do you want to do an MBA at this moment of time. So I don't really think that is uh, anything different that you want to add to that. If Anshul, you have something to
Yes.
add to candidly.
So while you are saying all these things, these are extremely accurate, what Munindra mentioned. One thing you should also add is to show them that how your learning has plateaued. And it is very easy to show in a PSU. I mean, every year Munindra knows how many PSU people I work with. You name a PSU and I have people in ABC and ISB. So it's very easy for them to show that your learning has plateaued. Show them that you're doing same work over and over again, repetitive work. Very easy because that's how PSU happen.
Yeah.
Also tell them that even if you move up in the career ladder in the same PSU, first tell them how much time it will take, and tell them that even if you move up, you'll still be doing the same work. It's not like you'll be doing something very innovative. That is one. Second, you tell them in corporate, you can take intra-departmental transfers if needed. If a new opportunity arises and you think you can take that opportunity to learn more, you can just talk to your manager. Manager would be happy to give you that extra responsibility so that you can learn. And what Devesh just mentioned, you can learn and increase the width of your experience. It is next to impossible to do that in a PSU, because the moment you want to do something else, they will ask you to take gate again or again, apply as an outsider or as an insider. So because of these hierarchy and these strict rules, it is impossible to increase the width of the experience. ये दो तो मैंने बिना PSU के हुए बता दिया. If I sit with you deep dive, I can tell you 10 reasons how to justify.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
Is
reasons
that
there.
clear?
Yeah. Actually, I'm not working in a PSU. So PSUs are clients. We do projects for
हाँ,
PSUs basically.
ठीक है.
Yeah, but
जो भी हो.
the same कुछ भी
There are
जो
see there are
certain
only seven,
apply
eight
हो रही है.
things, no
Yes,
matter PSU or no PSU, seven, eight
correct,
things.
correct,
You need to fix them. Fix your experience in those dabbas and then narrate.
correct. Absolutely.
Once you give 6, 7 strong reasons, they will not counter question. Huh, if you give 1 or 2 weak reasons without sounding uh, convincing, then they will counter question. You have to answer it in a way that they stop counter questioning you, and then they move on to the next one. Munindra, Devesh, if you want to add on something on this.
no, couldn't agree more. Same.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, Sumit, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So Devesh at the start mentioned, I think, an interesting point about probably taking up a position of responsibility, right? And obviously there are other case study competitions as well, right? So I would kind of love to hear the perspective from both, I mean, all the three alums right now in terms of what were the other interesting things outside of ACADS at ISB that people did, which kind of helped them kind of improve their profile or help them from a growth or academic standpoint as well, right? That would be something interesting to know.
So you already know that there are PORs in ISBA, and as I mentioned, I was in the placement body, and Munindra was in a different club, operations club. So we can always not only participate in various positions of responsibility, like apart from placements, it can be the core GSB team, as we call it in ISB. You can always be part of that team, and which handles the all kind of operations to festivals and even student related activities at ISB. So you can do that. And apart from that, if you are not fixated on doing something related to core work and operations, you can always head to an area of interest and maybe create a special interest group in ISB. And even even clubs like theater club and other clubs are there where if you want you can participate. So there are anything that you can think of that are there in any kind of any decent college. You'll find that in ISB for your interest to participate in and do something relevant there to improve your profile. In my year and in our year, actually, ELP with the experiential learning program in ISB was optional for us to do. But I think going forwards, it's mandated for us.
Yes.
Yeah, it is mandatory. Yeah.
But for me, it was optional, but I did it and it really helped me build my profile also because I was working in a very niche sector in R&D in Maruti, but it helped me, so it was by mere chance, I got a call back from Ather's CEO. I just did a call
What?
told to him. In fact, not him. It was to a lot of CEOs that my alums told that we should do. And we did a random cold calling, and one of the CEOs replied. This time it was Ather CEO, and he gave me some directions, and we ended up getting a very decent project of machine learning and regarding Aether's usage and spare part management, other things. And it was such a good project in which, and we as ISB students didn't have any background. Me and my team, I'm talking about that. So didn't have any background in machine learning. We learned it there in ISB. We had profs and subjects to help and support us. And then we did that project, and it was really a great experience. And it really helped me during my placements also. Even though at that point of time the project was not even completed, but the portion of the project that we had completed was one of my headlines of my resume, that we are planning to do this much, and we have already done this much. So you can always find out something, some club, some position of responsibility, projects that you'll definitely be doing if you go to ISB now. And apart from them, I think I've covered mostly. Munindra, do you want to add something that you can
Yeah,
do at?
there are many multiple marquee events happens that
Ah,
such as Bandhan, Artha, Advaita, ILS, ISL. So many different things must be happening. If you
product
get
conclave.
from one, then you can get into another one. So there are so many different things that happen from day to day. You will not, you will find, I think, multiple different things happens simultaneously. So you must be you must choose what exactly you want to do. For example, if you are interested in marketing, then you can do marketing stuff. If you are interested in something else, then you can do that. Even if you're interested in some extra curricular activities also, then you can do that also. So there are so many different things that happens from day one itself. And it's also about what you shouldn't do, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is one thing we call it FOMO, fear of missing out. So we call
I
it a JOMO, joy of
Jomo,
missing out.
joy
Yeah.
of missing out. Yeah.
So you must choose that what you don't want to do. If you want to do something, you can do it. There is no limitation on that. But you have to choose. You shouldn't be like bothered
Don't
with
go mad.
so many different things. Yeah,
There are people who have to take professional help
yeah,
for insanity.
yeah.
Just to add
Just,
on
and I'm
that,
not kidding. It's actually happens.
so that is actually a very relevant point, and what Munindra has pointed out. Going inside ISB, I had taken this very strong decision that I'll not do case comms, because
What?
not do case comms at all.
Guys, I want to stop you for 1 second just to appreciate how diverse the ISP experience can be. Everyone else who came before you, Devesh, we have already done at least 19-20 sessions with your batch, some people from your batch and the current admin. Everyone talked about case com, case com, case com. And here is a completely diverse perspective, and I'm glad
Exactly.
that you're saying this.
Yeah, that is why I brought this up, because going inside ISB, it was all like case com, case com, case com, case comp is the god, case comp is everything. Not everyone gets a good rank in case comp. It takes a lot of time, and
Yeah.
even even after you have put so much of your hard, it will definitely be hard work from your end, but uh, it need not be relevant in terms of the knowledge that you gain. You can gain that knowledge by just observing things in ISB also. It's not that you have to, crumple for hours and hours of life. So I realized that while I was entering into ISB, that whatever I can achieve through case comms, I can achieve through other means also. So that's why I consciously took part in placement activities and other things, and I was not wrong, because the entire year passed. The it's only a handful of people who actually gain from case comms in terms of a line in their resume. The other people, yes, you participate in case comms, you learn a lot of things that you can always learn, even if you help out a friend. And everyone takes help in case comms from your peers in ISP. So you can just be part of that problem that everyone is trying to solve in case comms. That is fun. Learn it and do it for your knowledge if you're there. But you need not have your arms and legs and fingers in every case comp possible to achieve what you want to achieve. So I realized going forwards in ISB that whatever I wanted to achieve in ISB, I'll not be able to, put my best effort in case comms. So I did not participate in any case comms, zero case comms, and it worked out well for me. And I know a lot of people who are very good in academics, have got brilliant jobs, didn't do any case comms. So you going forward, you only have to realize that if a particular case com, like there is an Accenture case com that happens much before placements. It was always famous for for the fact that if you win that case com, you'll get PPO and all.
Yeah.
Only one out of so many people who participated in that got PPO. I didn't feel that it was worth the effort. So be very mindful of the fact you have limited time in ISB. If you have this splendid opportunity of actually being there, please invest your time wisely.
Yeah, I want to share a very painful story of mine in case
Yes.
comms. So I worked on a Flipkart case com. It was about supply chain management of some fast. I think I don't really minute wala Flipkart minutes wala,
Okay.
and I spent around
Hyper
35 to
local.
40 hours. Yeah, 35 to 40 hours on that particular case com, and at the end of it, we submitted, I think, three per slider, and we were not selected for the next round. So it was very painful. The amount of effort that you put in a particular case comp is huge as compared to the reward that you get. Even if we had won, then it wouldn't have make any kind of much difference in my resume or in my placement. So I believe, yeah, you have to be very cognizant of what amount of effort you are putting and what is the expected outcome that you must be getting. So for as long as if you have a huge amount of experience, I don't believe that doing well in case com is going to help you. If you have, of course, 2 or 3 years of experience, go for it. But don't be mad ki if I don't win it, then it's over for me. Do it as long as it is fun for you. Do it as long as it gets ki bhai nahi ho raha hai, to then leave it. Yes.
My story
Thanks.
was very similar to Devesh. I did start with taking part in case comms. I won one enough in to some extent. I won as in I won in some regional level or somewhere where I could put it in the resume. Then I got ELP, and once you get ELP, there is very less chance you'll be able to do anything else. It consumes you.
Yeah.
But I was again very strategic enough to take ELP in marketing. And as Devesh said, it helped me a lot in the placement because my ELP was very much focused on a particular step in marketing research that is called conjoint analysis. It was conjoint analysis only, and all the marketing folks were very interested to know how did we actually do conjoint analysis because it was written in big font in my resume. So it did help me in most of the interviews, as Devesh said. And yeah, I only did marketing related stuff, nothing
Yeah,
else.
I also want to add one more point. There is one course called DTME. There you have ALP, Action Learning Program. So there also you get a single project in which you will be working with a practical or industry expert, and they will give you a certain problem statement, and you will be working on that throughout your, I think, 2 terms. So
Is
that
it
is
a
also you can
core
consider.
course or elective course?
I think it is elective. It is a 2 credit course, elective of operations, I think.
How come it's a 2 credit course? Is it runs for longer time?
Yeah, it runs for two terms. I think for 4 term and six term, I think. Fourth and sixth. DTME. So 90% of my interview was dependent on this only,
Yeah,
ALP.
because see,
So
this becomes like a life project. So
yeah,
they will ask what you have done, and also apart from all these things, you will get opportunity to do other life projects also, which come to the campus. Any alum
yes,
will come and give a project, pro bono. It will be pro bono. They might not give you, or you might get someone on your own and then do it while you're in the college and put it in your resume. I had connect with one person from Unacademy. Unacademy was not as big as it is today during my time, and they just wanted to launch a Facebook campaign, and their campaign was not working properly. It was not giving them enough CTR and everything. So I just made some changes to the campaign, and it ran in a better way. The metrics improved. I showed the difference. They even paid me 10,000 rupees, and I put it in my resume. And that's
yeah,
how I found small pro bono projects. And that's how my entire resume got filled even after having 1.5 years of experience. So you will find out things to do, But as
Yeah.
Devesh and Munindra said, be very strategic about what things you are doing.
I think clarity of thought is very important because
Don't do
there
it.
is, yeah, there are like 100 things happening in inside of campus. If you go for each and everything, then you are screwed. You have to be very clear on what exactly you don't want to do and you shouldn't do. And it depends on person to person. It is not like ki bhai, for this particular person, then he should be doing this. It only depends on you and whatever you want to do, whatever story that you want to narrate, that should fit into that.
Yeah, till placements. After placement, do whatever the F you want to do. Trust me. Have the best of the experience. But
After placement, it is heaven. Yeah.
before placement, be very strategic. Okay, Krisha, please go ahead.
Hi everyone. So, firstly, very refreshing thought on case comms, because all the sessions we attended, it's
Yeah.
like you have to do everything. You have to, case comm is the god. But this is very refreshing that you guys took a step back and actually analyze what to go ahead with, which comes with experience,
These
I'm
things
sure.
come with experience, Krisha.
Exactly. So, so while working with Anshul, we are like all of us aspirants we are in a introspection space right
Yes.
now, and we are asking a lot of questions to ourselves. So, Mike, I have two questions for you all. First is because you have so much experience before going to ISB, I am sure at some point in the journey you must have seen candidates who are younger or probably lesser experience, and they are still, going through MBA. What is it at that point which, if it happened for you, you felt ki it would have been nicer if you would have done the MBA a little earlier? I'm asking this question because it can actually help a lot of answers for me in an interview if that happens. Ki why MBA and why now? With
Yes, yes. They
limited.
ask why now? Why not earlier? Or
Yeah,
very young people, because they, during my time, they butchered me. Why are you doing it now? You don't know anything. So the post MBA goal that you have mentioned is only for people with 6, 7 years of experience. If someone is older, they will butcher in the other direction.
yeah, exactly. So maybe your learning could help me think in a different direction
Yeah.
for my answer.
Just me, correct me if I'm wrong. So you are asking if I had this thought after going in ISB that it would have been better had I done the MBA earlier.
Yeah, if at any point you had that.
Yeah, definitely. So the sweet spot of actually doing an MBA, it's kind of around 4 or 5 for a reason. It's you you are at a good place in your current company with the package that you have in your hand and the constraints that you have in your life. So going forwards, the constraints in your life increase. For example, for me, the highest possible constraints are there. I have a wife and a child. So going a lot of things had to be in place for me to get this 1 year of my life, and I was lucky to have it. But it's not the case with everyone. Everyone is not this lucky, and it's very difficult if you have other constraints in life. And going forwards, always these things increase, and you also kind of feel that you have invested so much in a company and you have so good a package. Why should I take this risk and all those things? So that is why it's always you have more flexibility, you have more bandwidth to experiment also. So I realized after I have done this, after I had completed this journey also, and before that also, I was thinking that yes, I should have should have had probably experimented more, because then I had lesser risks, and now I have more risks. So that is how you can, yes. But if you have that thought now that you should do an MBA, then this is the right time. So I don't have any regrets that I didn't do. But yes, ideally, if I would have given myself an advice, let's say 6 years before, I would have said that you can try it out an MBA, because you have that bandwidth to take risks. So then it's better, definitely. But whenever it strikes you, that's the right moment actually.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um,
Okay. So just one last quick point. So you mentioned something about meta knowledge, the term that ISB professors use a lot, right? If at all during the session for the rest of the questions, if there are any other learnings or any keywords that are used at ISB, which is because this is something we can't find online. This is something we can only find when we talk to an alum. So if
yes.
you can just quote these things a little more, because we are trying to just maybe prepare
Yeah.
ourselves for the interview as well. So that could actually help
worry about
I
that
know,
because
not really,
no,
but
no,
maybe.
I'm telling you, not just don't worry emotionally. I'm telling you, ISB interviews is taken by alums, right? Alums that have already passed and other things. So don't worry that they'll need you to code something that you will learn after entering ISB. They're very practical about the fact that is the difference between IIM interviews and ISB interviews. ISB
Let's not
interviews.
go to IIM interview. It's a different story.
Yeah. So in there you have those professors who will look at you with that lens.
Yeah.
Okay, you should know these things that they know because they have been studying and teaching it for so many years, which is kind of unfair. But alums won't be like that. My alum was so chill. I was telling him about cars and other things and it was like he was interested to know my story, and yes, and Anshul, I had prepared so well with Anshul that I was careful enough to not give him any red flags. That was all I
We
did.
we especially did a red flag mock in Gurgaon, if you remember,
Yes, yes.
where I made you sweat in winters.
So those moments were forever be etched in my memory.
I
And
think it was 11 in the night. You're coming from Dwarika.
yes, I
And
remember before that we had a normal interview in which
yes,
I
it was
was
all
speaking
good.
confidently, and then we had a red flag interview in which he was like grilling me, and I was
Because
like,
you're also, IIM Ahmedabad was coming up. So I
yeah,
had
yeah,
to
yes,
prepare you for that
that is
also.
that is why.
And IIM Ahmedabad can suck your blood without,
Exactly.
you
They're
know,
infamous for that. And that is why, because they have profs that have that different view of
yeah.
how well you should have been prepared or whatever knowledge you should have. But that's not at all the case with ISB. So don't worry at all about what you should know in ISB after going inside. Don't worry because you can't even gather that knowledge. You will only learn that after maybe probably after a year only. That is why ISB is there. That is for what ISB is. So don't worry about that at all.
Or
Okay.
whatever basic things you need to know, I will anyway be providing everything. Don't worry. With
Thank you
everything
so
that you
much.
need to know, you will be fully supported. Okay, guys, now let's try to restrict our conversation towards making it to ISB. Life at ISB, something which Ankur Warikoo often says, it can only be lived. It cannot be narrated vicariously. I mean, we can talk about it
Yeah.
all and all, but ultimately you need to live it to actually realize what it is. Because if we talk more about how to make it to ISB, it will be beneficial to most of the people here. Okay. Next was, I think, Shashank. Shashank, you can.
I just have two questions.
Yes.
One specific question is from Munindra, and that is so because Munindra, I am also working in CPSU. I'm working in sale right now, and if I'm lucky enough to join ISB next year, I'll have the similar level of work experience as you do. My question is very simple: how do you? Is there any specific concern that PSU people need to keep in mind to justify their shift to MBA? I mean, I know Anshul has extrapolated on it to a great length, but I just wanted to know your own personal perspective on this front. And my second question is a more general nature. I'll ask it later on after this.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is something what us perception of a PSU people that they don't really work as hard as compared to other people.
What are you saying?
Yes, there is some perception that I believe there is, but I don't really think that is going to differ much. You have to prove that yes, I am here at ISB. I will be doing this much of work or that much stuff. So you don't have to worry about that up to that extent. But being from a PSU or someplace else is not going to make a much of a difference. I believe you have to be very clear of why exactly you want to do an MBA and why from ISB. So these kind of questions that you should be well prepared, and being from PSU or being from any other sector is not going to make much of a difference. I believe just prepare well, just be thorough with your essays, be thorough with your interviews, have a well prepared interview sets, and then you will be done. Yeah, so don't worry about that you are from PSU, you are at a very disadvantageous position. That is not the case. Yeah, there is a little perception in some people's mind, but that is not going to be a deal breaker, I believe. Yeah.
Just a second question, and it is a very generic question, and all of you can share your view on this. So my I have just started my I think the deadline must be around in the second week of September, and I have just started my preparation.
Yeah.
And round one, and I really want to get through in the round one. I mean, that is my plan. Let's see what happens. Point is, so if it's 4 months and I've taken GRE as my of entrance, so is 4 month in your opinion a sufficient? Secondly, how do I spread out my application part, interview preparation part, and GRE in the next phase of 4 months? If you can share your perspective.
Yeah, I think doing these things simultaneously would be good option for you, and 4 months I think is more than enough for
More
you.
than enough.
Yeah, having your application ready, essays ready, and at the same time you can also prepare for a GRE. So doing these things together would be a very good would be giving you a very good chance to have your application ready by the time your round one deadline comes. And even with a low GRE score, if you have a very good application, if you
Yes.
are well prepared for your interviews, you will get through. Yeah.
This is thing
So
most people do not realize. They
yeah.
prepare
So
for GMAT, GRE till August, then give 15 days to application. Then they think,
yeah,
"Arey,
that is
reject
not
हुआ है."
yeah.
All right. All right. Anshul, do you also have something to share on this?
No, not now. Not now. You are anyway with me. I'll talk at length. Don't worry. Okay, because we have to give
Fair enough.
to other people also to ask. Yes, Ayushi.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I wanted to ask, like, we have already sort of strayed from the topic, but like we are discussing that, there might be chance that you might not get this most suitable role when you like after the placements or something like that. So, is it also wise in your application to show that you are a little flexible towards
Yes,
one or two
yes,
roles?
yes, yes. I am Munindra and Devesh, if you don't mind, I will answer this question
Yeah,
because I
sure.
have something very strong to tell you, Ayushi. So
Yeah.
for this batch, Munindra's and Devesh batch, ISB changed the entire application. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Which means whatever topics they had, they completely changed it from end to
Yeah.
end. All the three topics were changed for the very first time. Please listen to me very carefully, all of you. For the very first time, they made the goals essay optional. Goals essay means post MBA goal. What are your post MBA goal? Why
Yeah.
ISB?
Yeah.
Okay. This essay was so important that this was essay two for 6 years continuously. I can only talk about 6 years because I am counting since 2018, my batch. Okay.
Yeah.
From my batch, it was always the topic as
Hmm.
essay two. They
Yeah.
removed it completely and they made it optional. And this was the question I asked to Amit Tyagi when we did our info session, which Munindra and Devesh must have attended as well. All of them, all of these people had attended the info session. That I asked him, why did you make this change? Why
Okay.
did you make make the most important question optional? The only answer he gave that we do not want people to come with a very hard and fast mindset. कि यही चाहिए मेरे को. So please
Okay.
have a very good clarity about what you want from your MBA, but also show your flexibility during interview, not in the application.
Okay. Okay.
Application, you don't have space because that optional essay is only 250 words.
Yeah.
But in the interview, show a lot of flexibility. Not lot, but even for the other option, you should have a lot of clarity. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. If not, that this option can also be okay, will be okay for me. And then I'll eventually figure out how to come back to my plan A after
Okay.
working for a few years in my plan.
Usually they do ask this question: ki
Yes.
if this doesn't happen to you, then what will you do?
Plan B is a
So
very,
plan B.
very common question at ISP, not common at all at IIMs.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Danush, I think, was the next person who raised his hand.
Hi Anshul, hi Munindra,
Yeah.
hi Devesh. Thank you so much for all the valuable insights you've given already. My question would be for someone who wants to be flexible, like Anshul mentioned earlier. How does the year at ISB help you figure out what you would want to do? Like, if you could just provide some instances of someone who's figured it out after they've come
For
into ISB?
Munindra, though, it was very clear. Munindra actually got what he had written in his post MBA goal very clearly. Devesh can answer this, maybe.
Yeah, so
The same role, the same company.
No. I'm saying Munindra had exactly mentioned consulting in energy practice in his post MBA essay, and he exactly got the same.
And
So,
before coming to ISB, I was planning to get into Accenture only. Got that only.
so, Devesh, were there any changes for you? Like you figured out later that you want to get into consulting or something
I
like that?
think for me, the scenario was that I got into consulting, but I was not sure about whether firstly I'll be able to get into consulting. It was part of my wish list, but what I really wanted to do was just to get into a more strategic role, maybe back to my core industry or maybe in a consultancy. So even a CEO's office role would have been a good role that I was seeking. But so having said that, you can see that I was not very confident on what I will get post ISP. And when you enter, you see we all talk to our alums, right? There are 3 alums in the session telling all of you about stuff in ISB. When you enter ISB, you have a lot of peers and students that have also talked to a lot of alums and other people. So because of your
I'm not
strength
listening to
and
you.
connection, hello.
Yeah, please
Sure,
continue.
sir.
So because of the strength of the connections, you'll have a pool of knowledge. Everyone will share their experiences. You'll have friends with similar backgrounds who are thinking of going in one direction. You'll have a lot of discussion. So the first thing that I did when I went to ISB was find out all the people who had similar experience and similar background to me. So, and then I had a lot of discussion with them. What do they think? And so then collectively we became a lot clearer on what we need to do. And then you also need to put a practical hat over your aspirations, right? A lot of companies
I
which
like the term practical hat over.
yes,
I will
so
use it somewhere. I'm writing it down.
so you might think a lot that you want to get into XYZ, but if that company doesn't come to ISB, doesn't make much sense, right? For thinking at least in this year. So, but you'll have that clarity of direction because you'll know the pros and cons of each and every direction via the discussions you'll have with your peers. So then you'll definitely get more clarity. And I certainly did when I entered ISB because of my peers.
One thing I wanted to add on behalf of Devesh, as he said, he connected with people with similar background. He had already connected with 9 to 10 alums even before his application. And very detailed way he had become very clear before he actually applied. So, and that's the reason we are having the Alum Connect workshop tomorrow, guys. Trust me, whatever these guys have done, I have also learned from them, and I'm trying to give it to the next batch. Okay. Harini, you go first, and then Andrela, and then Ashish. These will be the 3 last questions because I don't want to exert anyone anymore. So you guys can ask. Harini, please unmute and you can ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Anshul. My question is to Devish. So I'm also from a similar background as him. I'm working in automobile company at R&D, new product development. So my question is, in what ways did your experience from technical background helped you the most during classroom discussions or peer learning at ISP?
Hmm. Uh, so it's so that's actually a very common thought. A lot of people in ISB come from very different and niche backgrounds, and everyone thinks that how will they be able to contribute to the code? I didn't have that doubt at all because Anshul had drilled me into answering that question. How will I'll contribute to my cohort?
It's
So
difficult for R&D people to answer that
yes, it's
question.
difficult for us for answer, but this is one of the advantages of going into a premier institute like ISB. Your course curriculum itself will be so diverse. It will definitely have some case studies, even from niche background. So I had case studies, even though I took so many random subjects. I fell across R&D, automobile, and case studies that were directly related to what work I was doing, just because the course content is so diverse. So So you never feel that your experience that you have done, even though niche, is irrelevant to what you are studying there in ISB, because you will always have some unique stories to tell from your background. So whenever there was a discussion, I was actually one of those people who was, it's called CP and ISB class participation. And I did so much CP and ISB that I'm sure that no professor who has taught me will
Yes,
ever.
Poojan told me this.
Yeah. So, so this is only because I never felt that I was running short of points in a class that was interesting to me.
Poojan was so much of praises for you. It's like he opened my eyes to things I never knew existed in operations. I said, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
So don't be worried and concerned about what you are doing in your past. You'll always find some stories that are relevant to what is being taught in ISB, because the basic storyline for everyone in how they are approaching their work in corporate life and other things, believe it or not, it's similar if you are diligent enough. So I don't feel that you will ever feel that way in ISB, that you don't have points to contribute and other things. You'll find, even if you are from a niche background. I hope I have answered your question correctly.
Yeah, yeah. I was like 1.5 years experience. I was participating in corporate finance or something. Some, and it was I actually, and in I remember what is the second term course in marketing, which is marketing decision making, I guess. Maybe it changed in your.
In our it was in third term and it was just marketing.
Yeah, but marketing. Yeah.
So there I also got a cash reward from the professor for class participation, because he said the most good class participation, I will give 500 rupees at the end. I even got it, and I hardly had any experience. There were people from HUL and PNG sitting in my batch, in my section, who had actual marketing experience. So you will figure out, where you stand and what value you bring. See, ISB will see something in you. That's why they have taken, right? That's why they will take you. Something, some value that this person will add. So don't worry that much. Worry about getting in. Okay, once you get in, things will become clear. Yeah, Andrela, you can ask, and then Ashish can ask.
Yeah, thank you so much, Devesh and Munindra. I think very insightful information. At least the case com, I've heard from Alums that if you win a case com, placement to ho hi jayega.
If you win, but what if you don't? And end up
Yeah.
wasting all your time.
Yeah, so yeah, but really refreshing to know that. So I have one question followed by another. So any unexpected questions that you encountered in the interview that you weren't prepared about? So would be interesting to know. And also you were mentioning about the red traps. So what are those blockers that you shouldn't probably say in an interview to avoid the interviewer give you any chance to grill in the interview? So yes.
Actually, I didn't feel that I was.
I just want to say these two, specifically these two. I'm not talking for all the people who work with me for this batch. These two were over prepared, like crazily over prepared, even though at one point I felt it is not necessary. So I don't think they encountered anything that was, but people do encounter Andrela. I will tell you later. But yeah, these two can share their experiences, but I don't think personally they encountered anything unexpected.
I think I'll just tell you, summarizing Anshul's point also, these questions are very good, very important, but all in good time. Take baby steps. First, focus on application.
Yes.
I'm there to smoothen out those gaps and other things, because you can't think, you'll be thinking that you will probably start preparing yourself from interview room today onwards, but don't worry about it. Enough time is given for you to get prepared after your application. So don't worry and don't jump.
Also, your interview preparation automatically starts the day you start writing your application, if you are giving it enough time. And this is only true for ISB. Again, don't take it for IIM. IIM is another ballgame altogether. ISB interview revolves around application. The moment you're writing application, automatically means you start preparing for interview. Munindra, you want to add something? Something unexpected, some red flags to be
Yeah,
avoided?
for ISB, I don't really think if you are prepared well, if you have decent number of mock interviews before going for your actual interview, then there wouldn't be any questions that you would be like, this is not what I have heard or something like that. So for ISB, I don't really think. For IIM, most probably yes, you will be.
IIM to Baba.
IIM to pakka कुछ ना कुछ मिलेगा
Just
ऐसा.
I think Munindra and Devesh also know this year got 11 admits in IIM Ahmedabad.
Oh, nice.
Yes, 9 eventually joined out of 158. Still,
Great.
it is when I train people for IIM Ahmedabad, I'm still scared because I have no clue what they will throw
Yes.
and which direction they will go. They
Yeah.
asked a dentist RBI policies in finance as the first question.
What?
Yeah, thankfully she got into ISB and I am Bangalore, so she's currently at ISB. Random things they did with people who did not get selected.
They asked me a port name from Iran. How
What?
it is supposed to know?
Why did
I don't know from where they went there. I
I
don't know.
have no? Sometimes people come back and report to me. Actually, ये पूछ दिया. I'm like, ये कहाँ से? किधर से पूछा? What is the relation? But we
Yeah.
cannot. Anyway, let's not talk about IIMs. We'll do it in other calls. Okay, yeah. Ashish,
Yeah, hi everyone. So I have some small questions. First of all, can you guys tell me how many people with 6+ experience or more experience were there in your batch?
good question.
I think from Mohali, there were a total of 250 people were there, around 250 people, and I think 22 to 25 people were having 6+ years of experience. I'm not too sure about
To
other
make
one.
it 40 for Hyderabad, so total 60 to 65.
No, actually, it was 120. This time, I don't know how it was placed, but I remember because Accenture applicants in the first round was all 6+,
Yeah,
and around 120 people were applicable. I saw that list.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So 120 with
120
6
out of
plus
8,
plus your work.
820.
So
120
120.
per room.
Yeah,
So 120 overall. I mean, both for both
yeah.
Yeah.
campuses. Okay. The second question was so so what other interviews you guys have given, or what other options are available for say, somebody with higher experience?
All options are open, Ashish. If you have taken GMAT, then everything is open. If you have taken GRE, then IIM Calcutta is closed. If you have WorkEx more than 10 years, then IIM Bangalore is.
No, no, I'm asking. I mean placements for
Acha, acha.
their placement.
Sorry,
What all
sorry.
options are available for 6+ guy
Okay.
uh, for the placement?
What all options in the sense?
Matlab,
For,
what
for,
companies came for people
for
with
what
WorkEx?
companies came and what
Okay.
roles basically both.
So there is no specific. This actually is not a very specific question, to be honest. So it's not a case that for 6+ यही role की
Yeah.
कंपनियां आती हैं. Every role, every possible role except for very junior roles come for 6+ also. It's not that कि marketing role नहीं आते हैं 6+ में और 6- में ही आते हैं. So ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. Whatever you are looking for, you will have some of the other company who are offering roles for 6+ also. It's just that people, yes, the opportunities relatively are less. So that is the reality. That is not. But ऐसा नहीं है कि रोल मार्केटिंग के रोल या सेल्स के रोल या फिर किसी कोर इंडस्ट्री के रोल नहीं आते हैं 6+ में. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. देयर इज नो सेट रूल उसमें.
I will
सब
add one thing, Ashish. There are few companies who will be very hard and fast about their experience. For example, L'Oreal came, they said if you have more than 3 years, don't apply. Nestle came, they said more than 3 years, don't apply. Okay. Then I'm talking from about my batch experience. Coca-Cola came only for senior leadership role. They specifically said if more than 6 years, then only apply. If less than 6 years, don't apply. Very few companies. Rest everything is all melange, मतलब मिला हुआ है. They do not. They will say that ideally 3 to 5, but even if you have 2, you can apply. Even if you have 6, you can apply. They are not very hard and fast.
Oh,
Very few company will come with very hard and fast rule कि do not apply if you have less, and they will write it explicitly. But most of the companies will just do like in requirement, they will just signify it. They will not really be very hard and fast about it. You can apply, you can get in also. The job that I picked up from ISP, they have clearly mentioned at least 3 years of marketing experience. I had 1.5, and they only took me for. I mean, there is only one vacancy, so it's not really hardcore.
okay. Yeah, got it.
Aditya Birla
Thanks.
Group Leadership Program, they will come for 2 different programs, one for less than 3, one for more than 5. So some programs are very specific. Most of the programs are not. Okay. Last question for Devesh before we wrap it up. How did you manage your time in preparation during your work? Because after a gap in career along with family, it might be difficult to prepare. Yes. How did you start studying after so many years of not studying while managing your family, your daughter, and this crazy amount of work? You were also in Japan when we were submitting the application. That further made everything complicated. So, how did you do it, Devesh? You are
Yeah.
mute.
So you have to find the right people in your life to keep you motivated. So luckily, for example, through GRE and GMAT, I had a few friends with whom I was and my seniors who motivated me thoroughly through the journey, who had taken that similar step before me. So I was confident that if they can do it, I can do it, even though they didn't have a daughter. But I actually took, as I was telling 2 questions back, I didn't think through a lot of things that what I'll do post ISB when I started preparing for GMAT and other things. Because I took every step as a gateway to getting, giving a self-realization that whether or not I am capable. So I initially, when I started preparing for GMAT, I had this thought that I have an 8 to 8 job, no work from home, wife and daughter. Will I be able to even get good score in GMAT? I thought then if I'm able to get, then only those options will be available. So let's think about clearing GMAT and then I'll proceed to the next step. If I'm capable enough, I'll be able to do it. So this
Okay.
motivated, then I had people, having the right people to motivate you and keep pushing you is very important. That one person for me after giving my GMAT was Anshul, because immediately the day I got my GMAT cleared, my sister introduced me to him, and I was like, uske baad, I needed a person. So Anshul was, when I first talked to Anshul, he was never pressing ki chalo, let's work together and all. He was always like, you have your options, you know me, this is what I can help you with, and let me know if you these things click. So, and I was very sure from that day that I have to work with him because I needed a person to constantly push me around. Because मेरा काम इतना ज्यादा था in my पुरानी कंपनी थी, because I thought कि अगर कोई मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा पुश नहीं करता रहेगा, मोटिवेट नहीं करता रहेगा, I'll probably give up my dreams की मैं
And sorry, Devesh, I know you're getting late, but I wanted to just share this with everyone. We started with a big failure. IIM Bangalore was not even a shortlist. And later I realized shortlist didn't happen because they are not taking anyone with 10 plus years of work experience. In the beginning only, it was a big disappointment and it was not easy for both of us.
True.
Because I was placing all my bets on him. That iska to hoga hi hoga. But when you get that disappointment and then still keep working, there's something. Okay, I'm ending this. It's too much of discussion now. I'm very, very thankful to both of you. And again, I don't know how much you know. Munin might know because he's still in the group. I keep giving examples of Munindra and Devesh to people who think they're too old or work in the same company or random self-sabotaging things that they keep thinking. And I'll keep giving you examples for future batches also. And please have an amazing, I don't know how much fun you'll have in consulting. I have my doubts, but, but great. I'm sure you'll do great. And Devesh, I'll meet you soon. And Munini,
Thank
you'll be in Delhi, right?
Yeah, good enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll meet you not very soon, but definitely at least once this. Devesh, I've actually already met twice. Once before ISP, once at ISB, but I have not met you, so I have to meet you for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot and good night.
Always
Thanks
a
for your
pleasure.
Sunday night.
So much, it was an amazing.
Bye bye.